We all do it, don't we? Tucking our favorite foods into the cool sanctuary of the refrigerator, believing we're preserving their freshness. But what if that simple, daily habit was secretly compromising the health of your brain, especially in the quiet hours of the night? It may sound alarmist, but a hidden connection exists between the foods we chill and the silent strokes that can steal upon us as we age, often without a single warning sign. Think for a moment. Have you ever refrigerated leftover pizza for a later snack? Or kept tomatoes and bananas chilled to prolong their life? It feels like common sense, a harmless way to prevent waste. Yet, certain cold foods, particularly those high in salt, fat, or refined carbohydrates, can create a cascade of silent problems. They can harden our blood vessels, make our blood more viscous, and subtly elevate our risk of stroke, all while we sleep. Now, my intention is not to cause alarm. It's simply to share information I wish someone had shared with us sooner. As we grow older, our bodies metabolize food differently. What was perfectly fine in our 40s can present a challenge in our 60s or 70s, especially when it comes to our circulation and brain health. This video isn't about forbidding your favorite snacks or clearing out your refrigerator. It's about cultivating awareness, understanding which chilled foods might be working against your heart and brain, and why the simple act of eating them cold could make all the difference. If you've ever found yourself chilling leftovers, or if you're simply curious whether you've been unintentionally making things harder on your body, please let us know by dropping a 1 in the comments below. If this is a new concept to you, a 0 will do. And please don't forget to subscribe to Health 360 in 5, where our mission is to help you protect your brain and heart, night after night. Let's begin with a food that might surprise you, a staple in kitchens everywhere: the tomato. We love these vibrant, juicy fruits in our salads and sauces. But when they are stored in the cold of a refrigerator, they undergo a subtle transformation. The chill diminishes their natural antioxidants, particularly lycopene, a powerful compound that helps combat inflammation within our blood vessels. When these antioxidant levels fall, our body is left with a weakened defense. And when inflammation takes hold in the delicate lining of our arteries, especially during the restful state of sleep, it can heighten the risk of small clots and microvascular damage. For anyone already managing high cholesterol or fragile circulation, this is a significant red flag. A study from the University of California confirmed this, finding that refrigerated tomatoes showed a dramatic drop in lycopene after only a few days. This isn't merely a loss of nutrition. It's a potential threat to your vascular health. If you enjoy cold tomato slices or a pre-made salad straight from the fridge, this small detail could be quietly eroding the health of your vessels over time. The solution is simple. Let your tomatoes ripen at room temperature. They will not only taste better, but they will be better for you. Next, let's consider a sweet favorite that may not be so sweet for your circulation: the banana. This wholesome, potassium-rich fruit is a food most of us trust without question. But when bananas are stored in the fridge, the cold can alter their texture and subtly affect their impact on our vascular system. For older adults with weaker circulation, this cold shock is about more than just flavor. It's about how the body responds to chilled, dense food. Cold bananas can cause mild vasoconstriction, meaning your blood vessels, especially the smaller ones, may tighten slightly. If your vessels are already under stress from age or chronic conditions like diabetes, that slight constriction can make a significant difference in nighttime blood flow. Research has shown that cold-sensitive foods can lead to increased peripheral resistance. In simpler terms, your heart has to work harder to push blood through narrowed vessels. While this effect isn't dramatic, if it happens at night when your blood pressure naturally dips, it could contribute to dizziness, leg cramps, or worse, a vascular event. The better approach? Keep bananas at room temperature. If you prefer them chilled, simply slice one and cool it just before eating, rather than storing it in the fridge long term. Now, let's turn to a classic that most of us don't think twice about: leftover pizza. It's the ultimate comfort food, and leftovers almost always find a home in the fridge. But cold pizza is more than a convenience. It's a hidden threat to your blood, especially overnight. Consider what's in that slice: refined flour in the crust, saturated fats from the cheese and toppings, and a heavy dose of salt. Eaten cold, this combination can thicken the blood and stress your vessels while you sleep. A study in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that high-fat meals, particularly when eaten late and cold, can elevate triglyceride levels within hours. These elevated triglycerides don't just linger, they slow your blood flow and increase its viscosity. Imagine trying to push molasses through a thin straw. That's the challenge your arteries face. What's more concerning is that your circulation naturally slows during sleep. If your blood is already sluggish from cold, greasy leftovers, the risk of a clot forming increases. It's a sobering thought that a seemingly harmless snack could raise your risk of a stroke. The solution? Always reheat your pizza, or better yet, opt for something lighter before bed. Speaking of greasy leftovers, let's look at another favorite: fried chicken. It's crispy, satisfying, and a common resident of the refrigerator. But once it cools, the oils used in frying begin to oxidize, breaking down into compounds that can quietly irritate your blood vessels. When you eat that cold drumstick, satsu especially late in the day, these oxidized fats don't just pass through, they can spark inflammation. A clinical review from the Cleveland Clinic noted that cold or reheated fried foods contain lipid peroxides, which are known to damage the thin lining of your blood vessels responsible for keeping them flexible. Over time, this cumulative damage can make your vessels stiffer and more prone to blockage. For many of us over 60, a night of poor circulation triggered by such foods can increase the chance of a clot forming silently as we sleep. Instead of eating fried chicken cold, consider trimming off the breading and gently warming the meat, or pairing it with leafy greens to help balance the effect. Now, let's examine another chilled favorite: creamy mayonnaise-based salads. Egg salad, tuna salad, or deli-style macaroni salad might seem innocent. They're cool, creamy, and easy to eat. But when stored for more than a day or two, they can become a quiet hazard. The combination of protein and fat, when kept cold over time, can begin to develop microtoxins that irritate blood vessels. According to research from the USDA, chilled protein-fat mixtures are breeding grounds for slow bacterial activity and chemical degradation, even when they don't look or smell spoiled. These compounds can provoke mild inflammation, especially in the delicate microvessels of the brain and heart. Furthermore, these salads are often high in sodium, which can lead to fluid retention and blood pressure fluctuations overnight, a recipe for poor vascular recovery during sleep. The simple tip: make smaller batches and eat them fresh. Ready for another surprise? Those pickled veggies and canned goods. Pickles might seem like a healthy choice, crunchy and low in calories. But most pickled and canned foods are packed with sodium, enough to trigger small vessel spasms, especially at night when your blood pressure naturally dips. The American Heart Association has found that high sodium intake can cause arteries to constrict and lose flexibility. That stiffness not only makes your heart work harder, but also increases the risk of nighttime strokes when circulation is already slower. If you enjoy a cold pickle before bed, it's worth thinking twice. That salt can pull fluid into your bloodstream, spike your pressure, and leave your vessels straining in silence. Try rinsing your pickles, or better yet, switch to low-sodium versions. From salty to sweet, let's talk about that bowl of ice cream or chilled dessert. A scoop of vanilla or a slice of cheesecake can feel comforting, but beneath that creamy surface hides a risk. The combination of sugar and cold fat can thicken your blood and stir up low-level inflammation. A publication in the journal Stroke revealed that diets high in saturated fats and refined sugars, particularly when consumed cold, can impair endothelial function and raise levels of C-reactive protein, a marker for inflammation. And these levels tend to spike at night, when your body is meant to be repairing itself. Think of your veins as small garden hoses. When the blood is thick and the vessels are inflamed, it's like trying to run syrup through them. The result is a heavier workload for the heart and a greater chance of microclots forming, especially in the early morning hours when strokes are most common. This doesn't mean dessert is forbidden. Simply try smaller portions, enjoy them earlier in the day, or swap them for fruit-based treats at room temperature. How about something that seems harmless but can turn heavy? Mashed potatoes. Soft, creamy, and a staple comfort food. But once they're refrigerated, their starch undergoes a process called retrogradation, transforming into a form that's harder to digest. For older adults, this can mean bloating, slower digestion, and reduced blood flow as the body winds down for the night. A study in the European Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that cooled starches increase gastrointestinal fermentation, which can put extra pressure on your circulatory system. You might feel this as heaviness in your legs or restlessness at bedtime. Instead of eating cold mashed potatoes, consider making smaller portions. If you do refrigerate them, add a little olive oil when reheating to aid digestion. Next, cold pasta salads. They're often a hit at gatherings, but that creamy, savory mix can be more trouble than it's worth. Most pasta salads contain a triple threat: mayonnaise, deli meats, and cheese, all loaded with saturated fat and sodium. When served cold, your body works harder to process these fats, which can slow circulation. A report from the Harvard School of Public Health found that chilled foods high in saturated fat significantly raised post-meal blood lipids, thickening the blood and making it harder to pass through your tiniest vessels. Your heart feels this. It pumps harder, and over time, that extra effort can take its toll. For a safer version, use whole grain pasta, cut the mayo with Greek yogurt, and go easy on salty meats. Finally, let's look at leftover gravy and sauces. They seem harmless, but they are often packed with animal fats and high levels of salt. When these sauces cool, the fat solidifies, becoming a sticky mixture that thickens your blood. A study in the Journal of Nutrition highlighted how high-sodium, high-fat sauces contribute to elevated blood viscosity and increase the formation of fibrin, a protein involved in clotting. This is especially risky at night, when your heart rate slows. It's during the early morning hours, between 3 and 5 a.m., that strokes most commonly occur. A cold helping of gravy before bed might create the perfect storm for a clot to form unnoticed. The gentle shift? Skim the fat before saving sauces, reheat them thoroughly, and use smaller amounts. It's clear that many of the foods we cherish can have a hidden downside when they're eaten cold. But please understand that this knowledge is not meant to inspire fear. It is meant to empower you. Your refrigerator doesn't have to be a minefield of risks. With a few mindful adjustments, it can be a source of health and vitality. Remember, the risk of a stroke is not built by a single meal or one mistake. It accumulates over time through countless small habits. In the same way, protection is also built over time. Every small shift you make is a step toward stronger circulation, more restful sleep, and a healthier future. If today's video offered you a new perspective, let us know with a 1 in the comments, or a 0 if this was all new to you. And if you haven't yet, we invite you to join our community at Health 360 in 5. Hit subscribe, and let's continue this journey of learning together. Until next time, take care, and be kind to your body.